Welcome to the podcast series of SPACESHIP, a cooperation partnership project financed by the Erasmus Plus program and supported by the Danish National Agency.
Welcome back to our podcast series on the SPACESHIP project supported by the Erasmus Plus program and the Danish National Agency. I'm Kinga, your host for today's episode. Today we have Nikki with us, who has been living in Denmark for a long time, and she's going to share with us her experience and how she adopted as an expat for this highly digitalized country. Hi Nikki, thanks for joining us today.
Hi Kinga, thank you for having me. I'm excited to share my experiences with you.
Nikki, can you start by giving us a general overview of your experience with digitalization in Denmark?
Yes, of course. When I first moved to Denmark almost 6 years ago, I was really surprised by how integrated digital solutions are in the everyday life. From digital IDs to online services, Denmark is definitely a highly digitalized country, which was quite new for me coming from Slovakia. The efficiency and convenience were immediately noticeable.
If we already talk about everyday life, how does digitalization affect your daily routines and activities?
Well, one of the biggest impacts is for sure the use of the MitID or MitID, which is basically a digital signature used for everything from banking to health services. The convenience of being able to access almost all services online is amazing. For example, if you want to pay the bills or access your medical records and even communicating with public offices, it can all be done digitally. Another aspect of everyday life, grocery shopping, is also very digitalized, with many people using apps for home delivery or self-checkouts. Public transportation is also streamlined with apps like Midtraffic that tracks buses and trains in real time, so you can plan your time better in case there are some delays.
That sounds quite convenient. What about the social interactions and communication with the friends and family?
Social interactions are also heavily influenced by digital tools. Apps like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, or Snapchat are widely used to stay in touch. Many expats, like myself, use these platforms to maintain connections with family and friends abroad. Also, in terms of events or local community groups, all of these are often organized through social media, making it thus easier to integrate and participate in such activities.
And what about the education? It's also an important area. How has digitalization influenced the education system in Denmark?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I came here to study, so I encountered also digital tools in this area. They are heavily used in Danish schools and universities. Students have access to digital platforms for learning, handing in their assignments, or communicating with their teachers. During the COVID pandemic, the digital infrastructure made the transition to online learning much smoother. There are platforms, for instance, like Moodle or Brightspace. Also, Microsoft Teams has been used extensively for virtual classrooms. When I was finishing my bachelor degree, this was actually the platform that enabled me to graduate because I had to defend my thesis via Microsoft Teams. Also, when I had to submit my assignments, that was also done via these digital platforms. But I guess for the younger generations, parent-teacher meetings can be also done digitally. So, yeah, students are taught digital literacy from a young age, and that prepares them for a digitalized world.
Let's talk about banking and financing. You already talked about that you can pay your bills online, right? Can you tell us about your experience with digital banking in Denmark?
Yeah, digital banking in Denmark is very, very advanced. Most people use mobile banking apps for everything from transferring your money to paying the bills. One of the most remarkable digital banking tool for me personally is mobile pay, which is very, very common for making transactions quickly and easily. For instance, if you are with your friends and somebody pays for your drink, you can just transfer the money immediately to their account, which is basically done if you have a Danish bank account and Danish phone number. Those two are interconnected, so all it takes is basically having your friend's phone number in your phone, and you just type the amount and voila, it's transferred within a few seconds. So it makes life very easy. The banking sector is very secure, and there is high level of trust in digital transactions. You can also pay with the mobile pay in many shops and websites, so it is very convenient.
Yes, I totally agree. Mobile pay is really amazing in Denmark. But did you have any challenges with digital banking, especially like you're an expat?
Yeah, initially, of course, there was this learning curve to understand how the systems work and just all the bureaucracy in the beginning, from setting up your bank account and then to basically interconnecting all these platforms. But once you get used to it, it is very convenient, and it outweighs all the challenges that you face in the beginning. And of course, there is support in English, so it's very helpful for internationals.
And what do you think about digitalization in the workplace? How digitalization affected working life in Denmark?
Well, I would say for sure that remote work is very prevalent in Denmark, and that is not only because of the pandemic. I think it was already very visible even before. Microsoft Teams, which I already mentioned, or also Slack, are widely used for communication and collaboration in the workplace. There is also a very strong emphasis on work-life balance in Denmark, so the digital solutions, of course, help to facilitate flexible working arrangements. Then many companies, I would also say, use project management tools like Trello or Asana to keep track of tasks and projects. So yeah, I think the ability to work remotely and flexibly has become a significant aspect of the Danish work culture.
That sounds very progressive, but what about job opportunities in the digital sector?
Well, since Denmark is a digitalized country, I wasn't, and I'm not really surprised that the digital sector is also booming, and with many opportunities in IT, software development, and digital marketing. And the government and private sector both heavily invest in tech startups, creating a vibrant ecosystem for innovation and entrepreneurship. So yeah, there's many digital startups in Denmark, I would say.
And what about shopping? It also changed a lot with digitalization, right? What's your take on digital consumer behavior in Denmark?
Yeah, online shopping is very popular, and there's many stores that offer seamless online experience. Whether it is clothing or groceries, you can basically get anything delivered to your doorstep without even having to meet that person, which is also quite a crazy thing to me. The use of apps and digital loyalty programs also enhances the shopping experience. For instance, supermarkets have their own apps where you can browse products, then create shopping lists, and even get personalized discounts based on your shopping habits. The trend of shopping locally has also gone digital, with many small businesses offering online stores.
And there are any challenges associated with digital shopping?
Well, of course, if everything happens online, the challenge is ensuring data security and your privacy. If you have so much personal information being shared online, it's important to be vigilant about where you shop and how you protect your data. Another issue is the digital divide, where some people might not have the skills or access to benefit fully from online shopping, for instance, the older generations. But the overall benefits of this online shopping is for sure its convenience and efficiency.
Let's talk about the benefits of digitalization. In your opinion, what are the key advantages that you observed?
The convenience and efficiency, like I just mentioned, are major benefits. Access to services and information is much easier and faster. It also promotes inclusivity, as digital solutions can often be tailored to meet diverse needs. Additionally, it can lead to cost savings and improved productivity. For example, telemedicine allows people to consult doctors from the comfort of their homes, reducing thus the need to travel and the waiting times. Digitalization also facilitates better environmental practices by reducing the need for paper and promoting remote work, which can reduce commuting and lower carbon emissions. So there is plenty of benefits we can talk about.
Let's talk about your personal experiences. Where did you feel that digitalization significantly improved your life?
Well, one of the experience was during the COVID pandemic, when digital tools allowed me to stay connected with my family or friends despite the restrictions to travel. Another instance is the convenience of online public services. You save a lot of time that you would otherwise have to use for commuting to these institutions and spending plenty of hours by waiting, and all this paperwork takes ages. Like I mentioned, my bachelor's degree, that was also something that was facilitated via digital tools, digital platforms. So it made it possible that I could graduate. I think there is many of them.
Yes, but digitalization also comes with its own set of risks and also ethical dilemmas. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I agree with that. The data privacy is quite a big concern, and sometimes it's a bit of it crosses my mind that if I share my address or my phone number and everything is interconnected and people can track you down, it can be quite dangerous. But I guess there's always a risk of data breaches. So it's important to counter this, which I think Denmark is good in. Of course, there is another aspect to this, the ethical dilemma of digital surveillance and the balance between security and privacy. The digital divide, where there is the gap between those who have easy access to digital tools and those who do not. I would say, that's something that should be probably managed better, with maybe educating those that are not familiar with the digital tools. And of course, the reliance on the digital solutions can sometimes lead to social isolation and reduced face-to-face interactions, which I would say are some of the things I have noticed the most. And it's crucial for mental health to and community building as well, of course, to maintain those interactions, because if we are going to have everything replaced by digitalization, then we don't really need the manpower for anything.
I think one of the biggest risks also if you broke your phone. So just from personal experience, because you need your phone for everything in Denmark, because you have to use your Meet ID, which is on your phone. You have to use your public transport app and everything else. So for example, when I broke my phone, I felt that I don't know, I cannot do anything. So I had to replace my phone immediately. So this is quite scary that you cannot live without your phone in Denmark.
I agree with that. I feel like there is, of course, a risk to that if you have all of these tools in one place and you don't diversify those options, then if you suddenly your phone dies or you lose it or it breaks down, then it's quite tough to get back on track.
Yeah, definitely. And do you think there are some options how we can mitigate these risks?
Well, in terms of the data privacy, it's important to have strong data protection laws and practices, of course, in place. Like I mentioned, the education. So one aspect could be educating people about the digital literacy and how to protect their personal information. Regular updating of passwords, just being cautious about sharing personal information online, who you share it with. Using secure networks can help mitigating some risks. Additionally, I would say also fostering digital inclusivity by ensuring everyone has access to digital tools and skills is essential to bridging that digital divide.
And how do you see the future of digitalization in Denmark?
Since Denmark is widely digitalized already, I believe that it will only continue to lead in the digital innovation, focusing on the sustainable and inclusive solutions. With the emergence of AI, they will definitely integrate that, and other emerging technologies will also likely become more prevalent. However, I would say addressing the ethical and privacy concerns will be crucial for the future development. I would also say that Denmark is likely to continue in investing in the digital infrastructure to support smart cities, renewable energy solutions, and digital health, and just in general in healthcare.
And what do you think, what will be the main challenges in the future?
Well, as technology evolves, of course, new challenges will emerge. This could include more sophisticated cyber threats, the ethical implications of AI, and ensuring that advancements benefit everyone equally. So continuous dialogue, regulations, and education as well will for sure be key in addressing these challenges.
Nikki, thank you so much for sharing your experiences and insights with us today. It's been really an interesting discussion.
And thank you for having me, Kinga. It was a pleasure to share my perspectives.
So thank you for joining us today, and I would like to invite you to join our module course and visit our project webpage at spaceshipeducation.com for more resources and information. Thank you to the Erasmus Plus program and the Danish National Agency for supporting this project. Thank you again. Bye.